2024 was a great year to be a Speedmaster enthusiast. We got quite a few different Speedmaster models, including this, Speedmaster Pilot Flight Qualified. Not sure if Omega intended to have all the words rhyme. In today's video, we will do a full review of this watch. I'll point out all the positives and the negatives as I find them. Now, as always, let's talk about the case and the dimensions. This one comes in a stainless steel case, 40.85mm case diameter. It's about 49.6mm from one lug to another. The lug opening is 20mm, and this one is about 14.6mm in case height. The case and the bracelet come finished with all satin finish. There are no high polish accents anywhere to be found on the bracelet or on the case. Unlike the Moon watch that we usually associate with Omega Speedmaster, this watch right here comes with what's called straight lug case design. It's more angular, it doesn't have those turn lugs, which a lot of people really like. I think this case is very similar to the Speedmaster 57 case. Another element that's different from a Moon watch is the fact that the crown and the pushers are freestanding. There are no crown guards. The case is completely symmetrical as opposed to the asymmetrical case like you will find on the Moon watch. So this one here looks a lot more vintage inspired. And last year we have seen a few Speedmasters with this sort of case design language, like for example the first Omega in space that features again a very similar case to this watch. The last big difference that I quite like between this and the Moon watch is the bumped up water resistance. So this one here features 100 meters of water resistance as opposed to the Moon watch with its 50 meters of water resistance, which makes a lot of sense. It's purpose designed for a job and you need more water resistance to get that job done. It comes with aluminum bezel insert with this orange accents for the tachymeter ward. I quite like how that looks. In fact, this watch is very colorful, especially the dial, which we're going to get to in a minute here. Also on the front of the case, you will notice this boxed sapphire crystal, which actually looks really good with the overall case design. It creates this sort of vintage-like look to the watch. However, the color combination makes it look more modern. So this one features a pretty good combination of vintage and modern design languages combined into one. On some watches that works, on others it doesn't. I think on this one specifically it does work. At the back of the watch you will find a screw down case back, and no, it's not a display case back, so you can't see that beautiful movement. However, for this type of watch it makes sense because this is a tool watch through and through. The dial is where things get interesting for me personally. This one features this black dial with the grainy finish. However, the way this dial is designed, it doesn't always look black. In certain lighting conditions, it kind of appears gray, which I quite like. This one also has the two sub-dials, one at the 9 o'clock position, one at the 3 o'clock position, and there's a date aperture at the 6 o'clock position. When you have so many different elements on a dial, especially with so many different colors mixed in, the dial could look overwhelmingly busy. Happy to say this one here actually works really nice. It's nicely balanced with the different colors. I really found this dial to be very attractive to look at and pretty functional. So the sub-dial at the 3 o'clock position has dual function. Actually, it has three different functions if you think about it. The first function is the countdown 4 minutes indicator on the chronograph. That's the orange hand. Then there's a second hand hiding underneath. That's actually the hours hand for the chronograph. And the third function is that you can use the sub-dial to calculate the fuel burn rate if you're actually using this watch as a pilot. The sub-dial at the 9 o'clock position, that's the very colorful one. First of all, you see that sort of horizon line. I think that's what they were going for. Kind of looks like an instrument that you would find in a cockpit of an airplane. It also has the yellow seconds hand. That's for the main timekeeping of the watch. And if you look at the seconds hand for the chronograph, you can see a little orange silhouette of an airplane. On top of all these colors and the sub-dials, we also have these uplight indexes that are super luminova blocks. They are very well loomed and they create this 3D look to the dial, which looks really cool, especially in person. When this watch was kind of leaked online, I thought that was a different version of the Flightmaster. Happy to say that it's actually not a Flightmaster, it's a Speedmaster through and through. It has a lot of Speedmaster identity. And why am I happy to say it's not a Flightmaster? Because Flightmaster is a very unique watch, so I'm hoping in the future Omega releases a more faithful, more true to the original Flightmaster. But this one here is a Speedmaster through and through. In terms of the bracelet and the strap option, you do get both the stainless steel bracelet and the NATO strap in the package. I only got a chance to check out this watch on the stainless steel bracelet, but we can all imagine what it would look like on a gray NATO strap. The bracelet itself is of a really good quality. It features this flat link design, all satin finish, no high polish accents anywhere on the bracelet or the clasp. The clasp here is the new design of Omega clasps. It features that quick link extension system, so it gives you about 3 millimeters of extension on a go for those hot summer days when your wrist expands. And speaking of the watch on the wrist, here it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. As you can see, the watch wears pretty well. I was a bit worried about the thickness of this watch. It is on the thicker side, almost 15 millimeters in case height. However, I'm happy to say that this one wears pretty well. It has the case that kind of curves down, so it hugs the wrist pretty well. It also is not a very heavy watch, about 140 grams, sized for my size of a wrist. And even though this watch is not overly big, about 41 millimeter diameter, it still comes with a pretty long lug-to-lug distance, almost 50 millimeters. So if you have a smaller wrist, maybe you want to look at something else like the Omega First Omega in space, something like that. This one here does wear larger. And one of the reasons why this watch is on the thicker side is because it's not a hand-wound movement powering this one. It's actually the caliber 9900, which is a coaxial automatic chronograph movement. It's a MATA certified master chronometer that beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. This one comes with 54 joules and about 60 hours of power reserve. Overall, even though this is not exactly a new caliber, I believe this movement was actually powering the dark side of the moon all those years back. So it's an existing movement in Omega's catalog for quite some time. It is very reliable, robust, and people have nothing but good things to say about this caliber. Overall, I think this is a very interesting release from Omega. Nobody was really expecting this outside of people that actually saw the leaks, but before the leaks happened, this was sort of an unexpected release. It is very different from a lot of other watches in Omega's catalog, especially other Speedmasters. And for a lot of Speedmaster enthusiasts, for a lot of Speedmaster collectors, this is another one that they must add into their watch collections. That's why there's actually a bit of a waiting list happening for this watch. If you look at the resale market, it's going for a slight premium, which is kind of strange. This is not a limited edition, so you should be able to get your hands on one if you wish to do so in the future. I am a big fan of it. I think it's not a perfect watch, mainly the case height of this watch. It's not too bad, but if this one was around 13.5, something like that, I think you would wear so much better and it would be even more comfortable. I appreciate you watching this video all the way until the end. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos like this in the future, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought about this Omega Speedmaster. Also, a huge thank you to the Omega Boutique here in Vancouver. They hooked me up with this watch for the review. I really appreciate them, and if you're in the area, stop by, check them out. Always friendly, always professional, and they have all the latest models. And thank you guys for watching all the way until the end. We'll see you next time. Bye.